Horizon Gents, welcome to CG Reaction, and this is Casually Explained Human Beings by the channel Casually Explained. Yeah, this is about he's gonna casually explain human beings in the 6 minutes. It's gonna be fun. I guess he's gonna talk about since the origin, if the first image is anything to go by. Yeah, we'll see what he's talking about here. I reacted to quite a few videos, not quite a few enough videos from Casually Explained, so I know this is a great channel. I love the way he explains things. So it's gonna be fun. Remember people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the reaction date. There's a link in the description with all of my videos. Check out the cast for the playlist. Check out the end cards, I guess. And yeah, let's watch this one.
Human beings are all members of the great ape family, and while they're closely related to bonobos, chimps, gorillas, and orangutans, they remain one of the most distinct, being the only to exhibit permanent upright bipedal movement and little to no body hair or fur. But one of their most unique characteristics is possessing one of the highest brain to body mass ratios of not just the great apes, but nearly all large mammals. Included with this is their expanded cerebral cortex, which has led humans to be considered not only the most intelligent of all mammals, but generally of all animals on Earth. Although it is important to keep in mind that this is a statistical average and certainly not the case in most individuals. In addition to their heightened intelligence, which has brought about their complex...
There you go. Great way to put somebody down. You know, that I saw a video yesterday that talked about that thing, you know, you only use 10% of your mind. I'm like, no, that's bullshit. You know, a study was done once that says that we only know what 10% of the brain does, and people just ran with it, and people still say things like that today for the same one only reason. So you know, you could tell your children like you have potential. This is opposite of that. Not everybody's smart, you know.
Use of communication through language, humans also possess one of the most precise capabilities for fine motor skills due to having opposable thumbs and an adapted muscular and nervous system more attuned to small movements. This does come at a cost, however, where if we look at other great apes, we see they don't have the same fine motor control, but in exchange they're all jacked out of their goddamn minds while only eating leaves, which in my opinion is one of humanity's worst evolutionary blunders. Regardless, humans still remain at the top of their respective food chains, a result not of their own physical formidability, but of their cunning and intellect that has allowed them to defeat other species through exploiting their weaknesses. As an example, while human tribes were ravaged by wolves tens of thousands of years ago, they eventually figured out that the heat and light of a fire would keep them at bay. Then as time moved on, they eventually used their superior intellect to tame the wolves until they could fit their quivering offspring into Gucci handbags and truly establish the dominance of humanity.
It is ridiculous to see humans' effect on the nature. From a wolf to that shit, chihuahua, whatever the small things are. We did that. We took wolf, and along the way, you know, evolution through, you know, smaller and smaller up until this, you know, cute looking thing. And you know, now dogs looks even more cuter just because humans like cute dogs. That's how the evolution has worked. The more cute the dog is, humans will pet it. So nowadays, from the, you know, savage wolves to these cute dogs, that's how humans had effect on it. This is ridiculous, man.
Humanity. But not only that, humans were able to fend off threats of other apex predators through similar means. They defeated large spiders by creating enclosed housing and protective footwear, they defeated sharks by just living on the land, and they defeated polar bears by driving fuel-inefficient cars. Humans are...
Oh, okay. So that's why we are doing all these things. Huh? That's why global warming is a thing. So we are basically killing all the polar bears so they won't kill us. Is that it? Oh, okay.
Diurnal species, which is the opposite of nocturnal. This means that during hours where there is no daylight, they go to sleep, and during hours where there is daylight, they stay inside. During these waking hours, humans typically go to work in a hierarchically structured organization in return for currency that they can give to other humans in exchange for goods and services. Using this method, humans are able to quickly and efficiently meet their needs of day.
Farmer's market, everything is ripe. Stop tapping the watermelons, you look stupid. Whole melons, $9.99. Delicious and nutritious summer treat. $12.99 if you make a melon joke to the cashier.
Day-to-day survival, freeing up enough time for them to do work in the first place. And by using their superior group intelligence and ability to compound the knowledge of successive generations, humans have adapted to live in nearly any environment by adapting the environment to themselves. So much so that they have collectively spent thousands of years building systems that have almost completely negated the struggles of tribal lifestyle. All their food can be found in one location, typically within a few kilometers of their home. They live in individually climatized dwellings. They move from place to place using high-speed mechanical transport, and even communication has been rendered immediate through technological advancements. And by eliminating struggle and tribulation from their day-to-day survival, this has led human beings to be the first and only species on the planet to have truly run out of things to do. And in an effort to cope with their lack of responsibilities that regard group survival, humans enjoy voluntarily going into the outside environment with other humans so they can pretend to do something. Or
Yeah, right. This makes it sound like everything's so rosy and good nowadays. That's not the case. Yes, more physical labor is not there. It used to be during the tribal times, but now there is more psychological stressful things there. The jobs are more stressful. The living, in a way is more stressful. So rather than being physical, now they're psychologically stressful. And not everybody has the lavish lifestyle where they could just, enjoy vacation and just work for a few hours. People grind and grind. Lots of people don't even sleep 6 hours a day because of all the things they have to do. People do multiple jobs just so their kids can go to college. So yeah, that's not, it's not as dangerous as it used to be during the tribal times, but it's different type of dangerous.
also spend their time by watching screens that display someone else who is also pretending to do something. With that said, one area that modern humans still commit a great deal of time and attention to is the pursuit and maintenance of sexual relationships, although mostly the pursuit. And one of the most interesting characteristics that separates human mating from other primates is an increased importance of female intersexual selection, meaning that while in most species of primate, males compete with other males primarily to stop them from mating with females they like, in humans, males will compete with other males not to stop the other person from mating with a female they like, but instead to get females in general to like them. This typically doesn't work, but they do end up impressing other dudes. An interesting and not entirely...
Yeah, alright. The misconceptions about, weightlifting, building muscles has misconception on both sides. No, having muscular body does not mean women will just fall over for you and just be there for you. That's not the case. If you are a dick, your personality is of a douche, and you have muscles, that's not going to do nothing. But then again, a woman does like a person with more muscle and defined muscle with low body fat. That's why Avengers and Marvel movies have muscular actors. They build lots of muscle for that. I mean, in the movies, they could just look like average guy, and just movie could tell you that they has a superpower. They just lift things and punch through wall just because they have superpower. They don't need muscles, but just so women will like that, that's why they have that. So yes, having muscles does help, but that's not the basis of it. If your personality and everything is just douchey, that's not going to help you.
Unrelated fact is that human males have one of the largest genital size to body mass ratio of all primates. Again, keep in mind that this is a statistical average and not the case in most individuals. Humans are typically monogamous.
I love how this guy is just pointing out all this fat and just putting people down. Same thing about the brain thing. Not everybody's smart. Yeah, you can have big muscles, but that's not going to help you. Averagely humans have bigger, genitals, but not everybody. Just putting people down. I love that.
To nature, which is largely due to their lifelong social structures and the extended maturation period of their offspring requiring additional parental support. In fact, unlike most mammals that reach maturity in a few years, most children are unable to fend for themselves until they are quite old, and typically can't function independently for anywhere between 12 and 80 years. And with such a long lifespan, the unique difficulty for humans comes not at the time of their ultimate death.
RIP Casually Expert was a pretty good YouTube channel for a while, then the novelty wore off and we watched other things. This is so true. Even though this channel has 3.33 million subscribers, this is a giant channel, but this thing is so true. YouTube has been around for past 13 or 14 years, since 2007 or something, 2006-7. It became more, content based in 2010s, around that. So the most veteran channel you'll find will be 10 years old. 2010, some of them are going to be 2009, but it's mostly going to be 2010 to 2012. So YouTube is just 10 years old basically in this sense. So all the veteran channels are still there because it's been just 10 years. But what after next 10 years or 20 years? is all channels are going to be there. Some of them will just get old and get bored. Some of their channels will get cancelled because of certain things. Like YouTube gives you strike for even some things that you even didn't meant. So you are walking on, I guess, glass. You could always just make one mistake or another. And you slowly creators are also starting to get pissed off about YouTube's all the rules and regulation. I mean, I don't blame YouTube, because YouTube is the giant platform out there. Nothing is rivaling that. So everybody's coming after YouTube with lawsuits and things. There was something about children. They created all that. You have to now say that our children appearing in this video. If they are, you can't have monetization over that or something like that. YouTube did that because somebody came after them with some kind of a lawsuit. So YouTube is giant, and YouTube's alone. There is no rival for that. So people will constantly coming after YouTube. YouTube will constantly have stronger restriction, and creators will constantly get pissed off, and they will start to move on to something else. So news websites will come out. So yes, channels either will die because they stop making videos, or they make mistakes here and then, break some of the rules, or some of them will just move on to other website because they don't like this, or even YouTube could die because of all this. So yeah, this is so true. This picture is so true. This is gonna be feeling really, really true in 10 or so years, where massive channels like Vsauce and Internet History and Casual X-Men, these giant channels, will start to die out. That would be sad too, though.
Death. But at the point they realize that while they still have several years to live, they aren't adding value to their society, but are a burden on it instead. For most people, this realization typically occurs around the age of 18. Human societies themselves are generally segregated into large territories of land under singular leadership or government, then further broken down into smaller geographic regions or states, and then again into towns and cities in which all variety of the nation's individuals live. Humans themselves are to some effect territorial, and like chimps, will not hesitate to tear another human limb from limb if they oppose upon their tribe and are perceived as an enemy.
Yeah.
And while that makes you think, thankfully they have evolved to live not in tribes, but in modern civilizations where that type of behavior is frowned upon and has been mostly relegated to the comment section and incompetent drivers. Ultimately, one of the most remarkable characteristics of human beings is that they're one of the only creatures to have profound awareness of their own consciousness, and are considered the only animal to be able to reflect deeply upon their own existence, although generally they avoid it. This allows humans to both diagnose their own shortcomings and to plan future goals that would bring them both happiness and fulfillment, again hypothetically. And with this, one of the ever-gnawing questions unique to human existence is the ponderance of the meaning of their life in general, to which some of humanity's greatest thinkers have spent their whole life trying to decipher, ironically, reaching conclusions such as the existence of a theoretical afterlife, or that they exist solely to serve biological reproduction, or that the pursuit of meaning in life is its own goal. In the end, while humans have seemingly solved the struggles of primitive survival, these existential questions will forever be up to each individual to solve for themselves until there's an app for it. But for now, they can't complain, because at least it's something to do.
Yeah, we are not the tribal times anymore, but we are far from perfecting civilization. There are lots of things even today that we don't think about. We'll see in 100 years, like, damn, we used to do that. That's so primitive. So yeah, the humans are keep gonna evolve. But yeah, this was a great video, man. Alright, people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the Rick Sunday. There's a link in the description. Check out the cast for all the playlists. Check out the end cards, and yeah, I'll see you next time.